Welcome to my channel. Here are scary stories about security cameras caught on tape. It was around 2:15 a.m. Mark, the night clerk, was cleaning the coffee station when the automatic door opened. Nobody came in. He looked outside the empty parking lot. Had the sensors been triggered by a bug or a leaf? Mark shrugged. Minutes later, headlights appeared. An old, beat-up sedan pulled up to the far end of the lot. The driver never got out. For nearly an hour, the car sat with its engine running. The driver's silhouette didn't move. No phone, no cigarette, just staring. Mark finally stepped outside to check. The moment he did, the headlights turned off. Total darkness. Then, from across the lot, a voice whispered, "I've been waiting for you to come out." Mark sprinted back inside and locked the doors. He hit the button for the police. 30 minutes later, they arrived. The car was gone when they pulled the security tapes. The most disturbing part wasn't the car. It was the camera inside. For 30 minutes, the man had been standing just outside the glass door, staring directly at Mark, completely unseen. Story 2. The abandoned hospital floor. You work in a busy city hospital. Imagine the chaos of the emergency room. Now imagine the chaos of the emergency room, where one of the floors doesn't exist. At least, not anymore. In 1999, Emily, a nurse, worked nights at a mid-sized hospital. One wing, the third floor, had been closed for years due to renovations. No patients, no staff, completely empty. One night during rounds, she heard an intercom buzz from that very floor. "Room 309 needs assistance." She froze. Room 309 was on the closed floor. Security brushed it off as a technical glitch, but Emily couldn't let it go. So she took the elevator up. The hallway lights flickered. The smell of disinfectant was strong, but there were fresh footprints on the dusty floor. She followed them until they stopped outside room 309. The door creaked open by itself. Inside, she saw an empty bed except the sheets were indented as if someone was lying there. When she turned to leave, footsteps echoed behind her. But in the security footage, Emily was alone the entire time. Story 3. The factory shadow. They say night shifts are quiet, but at 3 a.m. in a steel factory, silence can be the scariest sound of all. In 2004, Jake worked as a maintenance tech in a massive steel plant. One night, during a routine inspection, he noticed movement. A shadow, taller than any man, glided between the machinery. Thinking it was a coworker, he called out. No answer. The figure stopped, slowly turning its head toward him. The air grew colder. Jake ran toward the break room. When he burst in, every coworker was already inside. Confused, he asked who was on the floor. They said nobody had been out there for hours. Later, the cameras revealed something horrifying. The shadow was there, looming right behind Jake as he walked back. But it didn't appear on all cameras, only the ones facing north. It was an old factory built on farmland where a man had been crushed by machinery in the 1950s. And Jake had seen the shadow at exactly 3:07 a.m., the time the man died. Story 4. The security guard's last shift. When you watch security cameras all night, you get used to seeing empty halls, until one night they aren't empty anymore. In 2010, Daniel Amol's security guard worked the graveyard shift. Around las 4 de la mañana, he noticed a barefoot child on one of the monitors walking through the food court. He grabbed his flashlight and went searching. But when he checked the food court, empty. Back in the control room, the monitors showed the child again, this time on the floor. Daniel had just left. He began running floor to floor, chasing the figure. But the strangest thing, the child was always one step behind him on camera. The last recording shows Daniel heading into the basement service tunnel. On the monitor, the barefoot child followed him in. Daniel never returned. His body was never recovered. To this day, motion sensors in the mall basement still trigger alarms around 4 a.m., always followed by faint laughter. Thanks for watching. Which story was your favorite? Please share and like. See you next time.